Hey everybody, this is TJR. I was thinking to myself that I'd really like to do a cover of the song Celluloid Heroes by the Kinks. I've always really loved this song. I love the whole just melancholy aspect of it. During the 1970s, there was a fair amount of nostalgia for the golden age of cinema of the 1930s and the 1940s. This is probably because a lot of these older movies were a bulk of what you saw in your daily TV broadcast, because you basically had three major networks that played original programming at night, and during the day you had your local stations playing a lot of older reruns of old TV shows, but also lots of really old movies. So there was a fair amount of nostalgia for the golden age of cinema during that time. And the names that are referenced in this song, I think back in the 70s, most people knew these names because they'd grown up seeing these movies on television. I don't know how this would play to a modern audience, a young audience of today, because there's a good chance they wouldn't know who a lot of these people are, except maybe with the exception of maybe Marilyn Monroe, maybe Bela Lugosi, I'm not sure. But at any rate though, in the same way that when I covered Drive My Car by the Beatles as a piano cover, before I did my cover, I showed you my process, my analysis of the song, my breakdown of it. Whenever I choose to cover a song, sometimes there's a certain amount of reinvention, sometimes more than others. And so I thought I'd do that again with this one as well. By the way, it's a really, really hot night out. So my window is open. Normally I have that window closed to kind of cut down on the outside noise, but it's really hot, so it's going to be open during this. If you hear the sound of engines revving up, sirens wailing, people screaming, gunshots shooting out, it's just the normal sounds around here, that's all. Anyways though, so let's take a look at Celluloid Heroes by the Kinks. First of all, the song is in the key of D major, and it's basically got two musical sections to it. There is the verse, which is a D chord to an A chord to a G chord, back to a D chord. And if you're counting chords, that's 1, 5, 4, 1. During the second part of the verse, it goes to F sharp minor, which is the 3 chord, to B minor, which is the 6 chord. And then it goes back to the way it started, but there is one little substitution that I'll talk about in a moment. The second half of the song is during the chorus, where it's going, "You can see all the stars as they walk down Hollywood Boulevard. Some that you recognize, some that you've hardly ever heard of." Now here, it goes C, G, D. That's it. Just descends. C, G, D, C, G, D. 4 times in a row. And that's it. That's all there is going on musically in the song. However though, there is a little trick that gets played on the ears with this one here. Because this is the chorus. You can see all the stars as they walk down Hollywood Boulevard. The same chords are used in the part where it's the line, "I wish my life was a non-stop Hollywood movie show." By using the same chords as the chorus, but putting different lyrics to it, it almost feels like it's musically different. It's kind of a little trick of the ear, and it almost feels as if this is like a bridge. But from a musical standpoint, it's the exact same chords played in the exact same sequence with the exact same phrasing. There's no difference. I think it's a neat little trick though. So the song opens with just some kind of like esoteric improvisation on a D chord. And when you listen to the recording, there's a number of guitars playing, more than one, just kind of improvising. So I'm gonna not try to be note for note perfect in this cover. I rarely am. I'm usually reinventing on some level or another. Sometimes I'm using less reinvention than other times. On this particular song, some minor reinvention, nothing too overt or serious. But for this beginning part, I will just sort of improvise around on the D, something probably like this. something like that. And then when it's time to sing the first line, bring it down, you know, on the piano. Everybody's a dreamer, everybody's a star, everybody's in movies, it doesn't matter who you are. And then, you know, keep it real simple for the first part and then add a little bit of flourishes as we get to the it doesn't matter who you are. There are stars in every city, in every house, on every street. And remember I said that little variation a moment ago? It hits right here on If You Walk Down Hollywood Boulevard. And if you walk down Hollywood Boulevard, instead of the D major chord on the word walk, it's a D7th. All you're doing is adding that C note, natural note, to the D. And if you walk down Hollywood Boulevard, it's interesting what one note can do, because if I just played a D chord, it would be, and if you walk down Hollywood Boulevard. Adding that C gives it so much more melancholy, like that, you know. And if you walk down Hollywood Boulevard, the names are written in concrete. In the original recording, when he gets to that, the names are written in concrete, Ray Davies goes right into Don't Tread on Greta Garbo. He doesn't waste, I think, more than 2 seconds. Literally, he goes right from, and if you walk down Hollywood Boulevard, the names are written in concrete. Don't tread on Greta Garbo. Here's where I might reinvent it a little bit. I almost feel like there should be a pause in between there. There should be a little bit of breathing room. So it would be more like, and if you walk down Hollywood Boulevard, the names are written in concrete. Just a little bit of breathing room. Don't tread on Greta Garbo. We'll see. I'm going to play with it, try it both ways and see what I think. So now we get into the second verse. And here, I was playing very gently during the first part. Here I'm going to play a little, I don't want to say rough, but just with more movement. Don't tread on Greta Garbo as you walk down the boulevard. She looks so weak and fragile, that's why she tried to be so hard. But they turned her into a princess. Here's where you start to play a little bit more gently. And they sat her on a throne, but she turned her back on stardom. Turned her back on stardom. That's where we hit that D7th again. But she turned her back on stardom. That D7th chord. Once again, just adding all that melancholy into it. Once again, compare. But she turned her back on stardom, as opposed to, but she turned her back on stardom. It adds so much melancholy, just that one note going from a D chord to a D7th chord. Because she wanted to be alone. You can see all the stars as they walk down Hollywood Boulevard. Some that you recognize, some that you hardly ever heard of. People who worked and suffered and struggled for fame. Oh, some who succeeded and some who suffered in vain. Now, once again, Ray Davies doesn't waste any time. He goes right to Rudolph Valentino. He goes right there. So once again, I wonder if there should be a little bit of pause. Some who succeeded and some who suffered in vain. Rudolph Valentino. Hopefully you see the difference of just taking that little extra breath there, that little pause in between. I'm kind of torn by that. I personally feel that there should be a little more breathing room, but he goes right into it, so we'll see. One other thing I was going to mention is that during that chorus, you do have some room in between each line to do a little improvising. So I'm going to be playing around with flourishes. You know, you can see all the stars as they walk down Hollywood Boulevard. Little flourishes like that, you know. Some that you recognize, some that you hardly ever heard of. Like that, just little flourishes. Now, after that, we go to the next line of lyric, Rudolph Valentino. Once we get there, I think it needs to, once again, musically come down a little bit and not be quite so... Rudolph Valentino looks very much alive, and he looks up latest dresses as they're silently passing by. Avoid stepping on Bela Lugosi. I'm really thinking that right there, on the line of Bela Lugosi, you know, avoid stepping on Bela Lugosi. Giving it a real dramatic push there, because Bela Lugosi, you know, Dracula. Cause he's liable to turn and bite, but stand close to Betty Davis. Right there, you want to bring it down. Stand close, and there's that D7th chord again, that beautiful chord, to Betty Davis, because hers was such a lonely life. You can see all the stars as you walk down, and then you go from there with the chorus again. From there, it goes to the Everybody's a Dreamer, Everybody's a Star, back to where you were with the first verse. And then you play the chorus, but you sing different lyrics, like I said earlier. I wish my life was a non-stop Hollywood movie show, a fantasy world of celluloid villains and heroes. Oh, celluloid heroes never feel any pain, and you go from there. And you got the la 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 part after that. Now, I'm thinking about this part here where it just goes la 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 la. I'm thinking of maybe not singing that and just playing it more like a kind of like this. Something like that, where instead of singing it, I'll just play that part. And then it goes back into the celluloid heroes never feel any pain, celluloid heroes never really die. Interestingly enough, on the chorus, it goes to the C major chord. In the D major scale, the 7th chord is C sharp diminished, and then goes to D, which is the 1 chord, or the 8 when you get to the octave. So he just plays a straight up C natural. Instead of going, he just C natural. I've never looked at any published sheet music on this song. I don't know if you would just simply write it with a natural, or whether or not you would actually change the key signature just for the chorus and put it in C major. I'm not sure what you do. I guess either one is valid. I don't know. Music theory is sometimes a weird interpretable thing. You know, you can interpret it different ways. But anyways though, that's the breakdown on Celluloid Heroes by the Kinks. I'm really looking forward to performing this song for you soon. I know, once again, I did this earlier with Drive My Car, my cover of that, which you can watch here on the channel. You can also watch my breakdown of the song too. And that's about it really on this one. Not a whole lot of reinvention going on with this one. Gonna keep fairly straight to the original in this one. Some of them I get more radical with, you know. At any rate though, did I just say radical? Wow. That's a terrible word to bring back. Whew. Okay. Anyways, yeah, one of those bad 80s slang words that really needs to stay back in the 80s. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. If there's a song that you think I should cover and do a breakdown of, let me know. I'd be happy to to look at suggestions, and who knows, maybe I will pick yours. Maybe I won't, I don't know. But, you know. At any rate, though, looking forward to performing the song for you very soon. As always, if you like what I'm doing, be sure to click like, click subscribe, and smash the bell notification icon. Also, if you'd like to be a patron supporter, please go to the Patreon page. Patron supporters are helping make this video and videos like this possible, and I want to thank each and every one of you who are a patron supporter. Thanks everybody so much for watching. Take care. Hope you all stay safe and healthy. Oh, what's this? I got shot. That's what it is.